In today's session, we're going to be talking about the three-way TCP handshake and how it relates to SSL. So TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. It's connection orientated as opposed to UDP, which is connectionless, right? And SSL runs over TCP. Now, there's actually three main phases to the actual TCP. There's the initial setting up of the connection. Then there's the established part, which is where the data goes back and forth. And then there's the closing aspects of the connection, right? So let's look at this. So we have a scenario of the client and the web server. So the client initially sends out a Syn packet, and we're going to illustrate that over here. So we see that going in. Okay, so that's our Syn packet. Then the web server responds back with a Syn ACK. And then the client sends back an ACK. Now, after that three-way exchange, we now have our TCP connection set up. Now, remember, at this stage, it's not secure, right? So what then happens is the SSL connection is established, right? A secure piece, right? The secure part of the connection, right? But we're not going to cover that in today's module. We'll cover that later on in a different module. But for now, just remember that the SSL connection is set up after the TCP connection has been set up, right? Now, in the established part, that's where we actually see our data go back and forth, right? That's when we're exchanging our data, right? Now, when we want to close the connection, the client is going to send a FIN. The web server responds with an ACK, and then the web server sends a FIN, and then the client responds back with an ACK. Okay, and then the connection is closed. So just remember that the client sends the FIN, and also the web server sends the FIN. So it's actually closing the connection in both directions, right? Now, just something else to keep in mind here, that initially when we were talking about the FIN aspects of it, that's when we can get into situations of a DOS attack, denial of service attack, where we can send an extensive amount of Syn packets to the web server to bring it down, to overload it, right? And really, you know, if you look at it in terms of the context here, that there are mechanisms that we can put in place that can help us secure that initial TCP, just to make sure that it's in line. Okay, thank you.